Hey, Allison Verhalen here with AV Writing Services, and today I am talking to you about staying top of mind with your target audience using content marketing. So staying top of mind is kind of a buzzword, right? We hear it a lot. We talk about the importance of staying top of mind. I have someone that I network with who always says that it is not your customer's job to remember you. Right? It's our job to be memorable. If they don't have to put any work into remembering us, we have to put the work into making sure they remember us. So, content marketing is a great way to do that. So, they say that you need 7 touch points before someone will actually buy from you. Well, content is a great way to do that. So, first up is email. Email is a great way to stay top of mind with people. A lot of people complain that not everyone's opening their newsletters, that they're no one's seeing it, it's just sitting there, it's getting deleted, it's really annoying. Well, okay, first of all, there are strategies to improve your open rate, and we have covered that in another video. Second of all, it's not necessarily a bad thing as long as they're not unsubscribing. Maybe you just sent them something that it's not appealing to them. That particular topic doesn't appeal to them. And if that's the case, then you need to be segmenting your list better so that you make sure that you are only sending people things that are relevant to them. That being said, 2 things can be happening when they're not opening your email right away, right? So first off, they're deleting it. That's the worst case scenario, and even that isn't that bad, and I'll get to that in a minute. Second case scenario, maybe they're saving it for later. Maybe they do want to read your content, they just don't have time right now, they're gonna come back to it later. We get it, right? We all have busy lives, there's lots of content out there, lots of demands on our time. If we don't have time to read something right now, that makes sense. We can all relate to that. And maybe they never actually get around to reading it because, again, we get busy and things fall by the wayside, and by the time we have time, or by the time we look at it again, we go, no, I don't have time for that, and then we delete it. MailChimp, unfortunately, does not tell you what people are doing with your email. MailChimp can only tell you who opened it, how many people opened it, how many people clicked through to your website. That's all you're gonna get. You really can't keep track of how many people are trying to save your email for later, which is too bad, because that would be super valuable. Second of all, I said we were gonna get into how the deleting right away is not always necessarily a bad thing, because if they're deleting your email but not unsubscribing, they're just saying either A, I don't have time for this, I'm not gonna read this right now, or this particular topic is not relevant to me, but I do still want to be notified when you send out other information later on down the road, right? So this is all part of reeling them in, of reminding them that you're there, of reminding them what you provide for your clients and how you can help them. And again, sneak peeks, sales, let them be the first to know when you're doing something big. All of that plays into your email marketing strategy, or it should at least. So as long as they're not unsubscribing, and every time they delete your email, they're still saying your brand name. They're still remembering, yep, this is who this person is. This is what they do. Okay, great. That's valuable. It's not a conversion yet, but maybe when you do send that email that does speak to their pain points, or maybe they just don't need your products or services right now, but when they do need you, they'll know who to go to because they'll have seen your brand name pop up in their email inbox time and time again, and they'll go, oh, that's right, that's the company that does such and such, that's what I need, or I know someone who needs that, I can recommend this company because I see them in my inbox all the time. So there's that. Second of all is social media, and we have talked before about the importance of limiting yourself, right? You don't want to try to be on all of the social media platforms because your target audience is not on all of the social media platforms. They are primarily spending most of their time on probably 2 to 3 platforms at the most. They might be on a couple other platforms occasionally, but they're not spending a whole lot of time there. So figure out where they're spending the most time and where they want to hang out with you. Do they want to hang out with you on Facebook, or do they want to hang out with you on LinkedIn, or do they want to hang out with you on Twitter? Figure out where they are so that you can devote your time and resources to being there. Follow them, engage with their posts, engage with influencers' posts. If you can get them to follow you so that you can keep showing up in their feed, again, they might not need you every time they see one of your posts. They might not, not every single one of your posts will be relevant to their pain points right at that moment. But again, it's that staying top of mind, reminding them that you're there, reminding them what you do, so that again, when they do need you, they'll know who to call. So, and it's not just posting, right? So I cannot stress this enough. Social media is meant to be social. And if you are marketing yourself, that's even more important to maintain the social aspect of it. Don't be that person who shows up to the party and only talks about themselves and doesn't ask anyone else how they're doing or react to what other people are saying. No one likes that person. And if you're just on social media posting about yourself and you're not engaging with other people's posts, you are that annoying person and no one is going to engage with that. So be proactive, identify your target audience, identify influencers in your industry, comment on their posts. You don't have to share influencers' posts because then you're directing people to your competitors' sites, and that's not always ideal, but you can absolutely collaborate with them and again, comment on their posts, like their posts. That will boost their post, but that will also get your name in front of more people, in front of those influencers. Maybe you can collaborate with them. Maybe when they have some overflow, they might want to send it your way because they'll have seen that engagement on social media. So always keep that in mind. And again, if someone follows you and you have no idea who that person is, but you check out their profile and it looks like they might be a good prospect for you, then go ahead and follow them back and like and comment on their post. Don't be that person who slides into the DMs right away and says, "Here are our services or the products that we sell. This is what you can buy from us." Don't be that person, because that's super annoying. That's the person who shows up at the party and is trying to hawk their wares, and that's the only thing that they're doing. And again, no one likes that person and no one really wants to buy from that person. So don't be that person. Instead, take the time to get to know them. Again, comment on their posts, like their posts, share their posts as long as it's not competing with you. Really get to know them, and again, that will help build their awareness of you. So keep at it. And this is not an overnight get rich quick scheme, right? This is something that takes time to build those relationships and build people's trust, because we work with people that we know, like, and trust. And content marketing and social media can be a great way to build that trust, but it's not going to happen overnight. So keep that strategy in mind. And then finally, blogging. Blogging is a great way to stay top of mind with people, and it ties into your newsletter and your social media, right? So you can absolutely post other people's content and share other people's blog posts and content on your social media pages, and you absolutely should. But you should also be directing people back to your website. So keep that in mind. And that's where your blog post comes in, right? So you're not always just sending them back to a sales page. You're not always asking for their money. You're providing value. Your social media posts should always provide value. Your blog posts should always provide value. It should not just be sell, sell, sell. So take that into account, and that's the blogging is a great way to do that on social media and in your newsletter. That gives you something. You're providing value. You're saying, hey, if you have questions about such and such, if you want to know about XYZ, head on over to the blog post because I just wrote like 2,000 words on it. Head on over. That's where the information is at. If you're in an industry with high cost leads, such as financial planning or attorneys or a lot of B2B industries, right? The end of your blog post is not always a great place to sell to them, right? They got there because they're looking for some information. They want to know about something specific. You gave them some tips. That's great. They're gonna take those tips and implement them before they make a purchasing decision. So trying to sell to them right at the end of your blog post is not always a great idea. Instead, ask them to sign up for your newsletter, ask them to follow you on social media, rinse and repeat, right? Because that's how you're going to stay top of mind with them, by consistently pushing out those emails and those social media posts. And again, with all of this, with your blog, with your newsletter, with your social media posts, you need to have a schedule and you need to stick to it. If you're really active on social media when you're bored and you don't have a lot of business, and then as soon as you get busy, you forget about social media, people are gonna forget about you too. They're gonna wonder where you went, or they're just not gonna wonder, because again, they'll have forgotten about you. And then if you try to get active again when business gets slow again, you're gonna be starting from scratch, because people will have unfollowed you, people will have forgotten about you, and you'll have to try and build that following and build that engagement all over again, and that's a waste of time. So come up with a schedule that you can realistically stick to, even when things are busy. There are scheduling software like Buffer and Hootsuite that you can use to schedule your posts ahead of time, so you can just put them out there. You can sit down on a weekend or an evening and put a movie on in the background while you schedule your posts. That's all it takes, but it has to be consistent. Same with your blog and your newsletter. Send them out same time, same day, every single time. And again, pick a schedule that works for you. If you can blog every day, that would be amazing. If you're actually producing quality content and doing that on a schedule even when you're busy, that's great. Go ahead and do that. But that's not realistic for most business owners, unless you have a crazy huge budget to pay someone to do that all the time, or if you have a ton of guest bloggers. Guest bloggers are also a great way to make sure that you get a ton of content up on your website without you having to spend all of your time creating that content. And again, come up with a schedule. Don't make them, you don't want like a ton of bonus posts. I mean, you can do that, but work them into your schedule so that the guest bloggers can take over some of the posts that you're creating, so that you have more time to do something else. So that's it. Those are my 3 tips for how content marketing can help you stay top of mind with your target audience. If you have any other questions, you can find us at avwritingservices.com. If you want to ask me anything directly, if there's something you think I missed, I'd love to hear it. You can reach me directly at info@avwritingservices.com. That's it. Have a great week and happy marketing.